You are about to listen to the Dr. Dahlia Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Dahlia Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Dahlia.
We are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Dahlia, 1-877-DOCDALI. So I had a busy weekend, and I was home, and I think I was watching the Knicks game. I was watching the Knicks game, and then I forgot the game that was on afterwards. But all of a sudden, these news pop-ups about the Oscars were going on. Oh, here's anti-Semitism again, and I go, the Oscars are on? I'm watching basketball. I'm really happy with basketball. I'm good with that. All right. I don't seem to really watch the Oscars anymore. And I think I would watch the Oscars more, if they didn't suck. For me, it's, oh my gosh, look at Timothy, which is Chalamet. Is that how you pronounce it? And, oh, look at Kylie Jenner, and oh, look at this, and look at, and listen, I want to be ooh and ah over, my, like my nephews or grandbabies, that's who I want to revere and put on a pedestal and go, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? I don't have grandkids yet, but if I did, I'd be like, oh my God, let me look. Oh, look at those lambs. Oh, you got little lambs, a cute day. Oh my God, Cookie Monster. I would just be in awe of do I really give a damn what Gwyneth Paltrow is wearing and whose gown it is? Now, I'm no fashionista. All right. And I know some of you are like, Dr. Dahlia, you could use a little bit of, R&D on your wardrobe here. Yeah. But what Gwyneth Paltrow had like a dress that she was like naked underneath. I don't want to see that. I don't. Now, Michael Fassbender naked. You got me. I'll watch. I don't want to see Gwyneth Paltrow naked. And I just don't get it. And then you have to watch everybody with the fake claps. Yeah, and the winner this year is Oh, you won. I'm so happy for you. I lost, but I'm so happy for you. Now, if I was ever a Hollywood celebrity, okay, if I was, it would be my work in Lord of the Rings, of course, because I would have starred Lord of the Rings. Who else would have been Arwen, right? Exactly. I could rock Rivendell. Trust me. But anyway, so let's say I was, there. And I wouldn't want the camera on me when I lose. I also wouldn't want the camera on me when I won. If I really won the Olympics, I'd be like, yeah. You needed to take a year to figure that out, or won the Olympics too, that too. But the Oscars, just give me this. And now I got to make a speech in front of everybody. And then I got to remember everybody to thank. I don't want to hear that. I know everybody thanks their mom and dad, which is very nice. But we know you thank your mom and dad. Why do we have to sit there and listen to it? And then Conan O'Brien, I guess he did his opening. He did like his opening monologue. And, it was, I guess he made fun. Timothy Chalamet did that stupid comment where he's afraid. And we'll talk about this later, where the movies are going to go away and then he'll have to eventually do opera or Broadway or something. And he basically insulted those whole genres of art. And so Conan O'Brien made a couple jokes about that, but it was just very lame when I finally tuned in, when basketball was over and I saw some of the clips, and I was like, why do people watch this? Now and listen, Sinners was a good movie. I saw Sinners. It was a good movie. Was that Academy Award good? Well, if everything else out there sucks, yeah. Now, but I rarely do I watch a movie that wins. I don't even recognize who some of the winners are. I know Michael B. Jordan. He's great. Big fan of his. But I'm not really, I don't know who these other. Maybe I'll see them. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that person in Sons of Anarchy, so I don't know. It just doesn't. To me, it sucks. And then, when you have celebrities who think they're experts on geopolitics and foreign policy and conflict in the Middle East. And these celebrities think that people care about their uneducated opinion. Nobody gives a damn about really, are you an expert on foreign policy? Do you really understand what's going on over there? Do you really? Right? I don't care what you think. And they feel like, well, we're here at the Oscars, so we need to talk about politics. Nobody wants to hear that. Oh gosh, I forget the comedian who, you see him all the time. It's couture commercials, and I guess he said that many of these movies could be short films, so he's making a joke, that Schindler's List could be Schindler's Post-it. I just thought it was a stupid joke. I really didn't think that was all wrought with anti-Semitism. I think when you sit there and you say free Palestine from Israel when you need to free Palestine from Hamas, that is more anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. But again, it was a stupid comment. He made a stupid comment. And it wasn't funny. His jokes aren't funny. Schindler's List to Schindler's Post-it. I'm like, guys, if you're going to try and make jokes, just be funny. I just saw Sebastian Maniscalco, and he is funny. I mean, get him up there. And I think, it's interesting because I was talking to my friend about this, and we're talking about how political now all these late night shows are going, and it's because these comedians are so afraid to be politically incorrect that they don't know what else, because in comedy, you make fun of stuff. Sebastian, he went there. He was politically incorrect. He went there. You make fun of stuff. And so then they try, well, you know what? I'll try to make fun of Schindler's List. A Holocaust movie? No. Not when we're still kind of grieving over the thousands that got killed during the Hamas attack. No, I don't think that was a good joke. But they don't know. They don't know how to be funny. And it's because we have people who are half-assed. We have people who are half-assed, working, in all industries now. And now you're seeing it in Hollywood. These people don't know how to be funny. So for me, I don't care about the gowns. I don't care about who's dating who. I don't care about who won. I don't care about your politics. I don't care. I'm just going to go watch some basketball. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, FREE to 99799.
Hi, it's Mark Falter, host of the Financial Fitness Show. I strongly believe that no one should ever pay 1 penny more in taxes than they are legally obligated. Unfortunately, for most hardworking Americans, this just isn't the case. Why? Because most people spend more time planning next weekend's getaway than trying to ensure they're going to pay less in taxes. My financial fitness team has put together some materials that I know are going to help you. It's the Tax Savings Kit. Tax Savings Kit includes 3 things: free tax analysis, top 10 ways to pay less in taxes, and an investor's guide to taxes. Now, how do you get it? Simple. 866-764-2635. Again, 866-764-2635. I'm Mark Falter. This is Financial Fitness, making personal finance profitable.
We are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Dahlia, 1-877 DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Dahlia, Facebook, The Dr. Dahlia Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So I am just blown away at how split everybody is. You know, when you look at what's going on with Iran, this was the time to address it. Unfortunately, they have been attacking multiple countries, including America, for decades. And there was an opportunity for America to act and for Israel to act. So they did. And if there was going to be a time to overthrow the disgusting regime that is killing tens of thousands of Iranians, which I don't really think was even acknowledged yesterday at the Oscars, but then again, I didn't watch because I don't really care about the Oscars. The time to act was now, especially seeing the people protest in the street and what happens when they don't get to have freedom of speech, and the death and rape and attacks and coercion and oppression that they had. And so Iran is trying to make a last-ditch effort of still staying relevant, the regime of that's currently running Iran, by controlling the Strait of Hormuz. And this is a little bit of an Achilles heel, but I don't really want to call it an Achilles heel because I still think that, the Western countries, or, U.S. and Israel and, are going to definitely prevail. But Europe is affected by this. And Europe is also affected by what happens in terms of goods and oil and all that. And so Donald Trump had called on the UK, China, France, Japan, South Korea, and other countries to send ships there. It's the world's busiest shipping route, from what we understand, and to stop Iran from blocking it. Now, from what I understand, you don't really hear it's radio silence from our allies. Now, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told reporters that the strait is only cut off for vessels of the U.S., Israel, and their allies. So, I mean, from what I understand, it's a mess over there. An oil tanker was apparently cleared to go through, now sailing to Pakistan, and Iran has thanked the solidarity Pakistan has shown them in the face of the ongoing crisis. Now, a fire did break out after a drone attack attacked their industrial oil facility, actually a UAE's oil facility. And so Iran is bringing in other countries. And so why aren't other countries helping out? Now, I know I've heard people say, you know what, Trump started this, he's got to finish it. The other countries can't just jump in, because Trump, wanted his way. This has been an ongoing battle for a while. And from what the Europe is appearing as, is they're appearing as chicken poop. I mean, they're appearing chicken. You understand that there's terrorism. You're always under a terrorist threat. There's been proof that Iran has been funding this terrorism. You're upset about the war in Ukraine and how Russia is able to still fight them using drones. Where are they getting the drones from? Iran. I mean, you're fully aware. And now you're pretending, oh, yeah, Iran, we were all good and we don't want to get involved. It's interesting because I speak to a lot of people. And even though you would think it would be kind of an isolationist attitude, not after COVID. I think COVID made people realize that other countries out there can really mess us up. Was it the Congressman Ro Khanna who wasn't really fazed by Iran having, nuclear weapons? Yeah, but they can't hit us. Yeah, but they could hit your allies. They could hit American troops and hurt Americans. Not all Americans live in America. This, if you really talk to most Americans, And they're thinking to themselves, I mean, especially for those of us who remember September 11th, I'm really blown away how people's memories are short. Okay? And what happens is America has done such a fantastic job of stopping other acts of terrorism. They've been thwarting so many other acts of terrorism. It makes a headline for about 5 minutes. Not everybody hears it. And then they just go on about their day. We have to hear about Timothy Chalamet. We have to hear about, I don't know, something the Kardashians do all the time. But we don't hear about how there are constant threats and attacks. Really? Iran wanted to kill our president? Why, President Trump, while he was campaigning for a second term? That's some serious stuff. Iran has attacked Americans and overseas. Iran is funding terrorism that helped Hamas do their massacre that killed Americans too. See, these should be headlines. And nobody, now the average smart American is like, oh, yeah. I mean, we let our guard down with China and look at what happened with COVID. We're not going to let our guard down with Iran. But no, that's not how the media wants to put it. And so you sit here and you're listening to people go, gosh, this just came out of the blue and Trump just wants to start wars. I don't believe that. I think Trump is like, if there's an opportunity to finally stop this evil regime, especially when you see tens of thousands of people in the streets wanting to overthrow it in Iran, then this is the time. Now, are Iranians the ones who want to be freed? Are they able to? Well, if all their weapons were removed, it's going to be hard for them to take over. And again, this Revolutionary Guard is much bigger and much more infiltrated than we know. But, I think Europe knows exactly what the situation is. And they are so afraid of having the media with Trump derangement syndrome turn on them. And they're probably hoping, as I've said this before, that Israel and America does their dirty work. Now, from what we're being told, much of Iran's military capabilities has been destroyed. We're being told that at least 70% of their artillery and bases have been destroyed. Israel has had to do some limited ground operations against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon because Hezbollah decided, we're going to get into the act. Iran was funding them, so Iran was like, okay, do something. So Hezbollah was like, okay, well, we'll attack too. But, I'm really waiting for the common sense to finally pervade and where, the average American going, yeah, this has to be done. Iran has been behind a lot of this. And the world would be safer if the Revolutionary Guard and whoever is running the evil regime, the Ayatollah, out. And they would love for Iran to be like a Saudi Arabia or a UAE or a country that joins the Abraham Accords. I mean, people say, gosh, Dr. Dahlia, why isn't it like the 6-Day War again? I mean, all these countries that hate Israel. No, Trump has ensured that there would be peace. These other countries don't want to do that. Now, with another president, they might. They might take advantage. But I know Iran's mad that these other Arab countries, no, because Israel has Arab citizens. Israel is home to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Muslims. These other countries don't want to hurt Israel. They know they need Israel. Now, you have the terrorists, you have the extremists, but the average country that is smart, that's using common sense, is like, no. This works well for us. I can't tell you how many of my relatives and friends and family have been to Saudi Arabia. They love it. Saudi Arabia is growing and becoming stronger. Now you have a terrorist regime you can't trust, like with Iran. So I agree that Europe should get involved. And I know everybody's like, well, we don't want to look like we're siding with Trump and we don't want to. Well, then you look stupid and you look weak. You really look chicken. I can't say the word. Now, I hope this ends soon. I am not expecting it to, go on for years. I think, we've really annihilated a lot of Iran's capability, but it's not going to be over in 48 hours. But Europe does need to step up. 1-877 Doc Dolly.
Looking for a gift that can actually help secure someone's future? It's Mark Falter's new book, Common Sense Income Strategies. It makes the perfect gift for that special someone in your life. Mark has helped thousands of hardworking Americans secure their financial future by using time-tested strategies that continue to create wealth, whether the market is up or down. Strategies that will make perfect sense once you take the time to read this powerful book. Common Sense Income Strategies brings to you what Mark has been teaching in person and talking about on the radio for decades. You've worked too long and too hard not to see the fruits of your labor. To learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635. Secure your future with Common Sense Income Strategies by Mark Falter. Again, to learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Dahlia, 1-877 DOCDALI. So you might want to rethink allowing your kids to go on these school trips, especially when they're overseas. A local private school that I am very, very, very familiar with, because my kids attended this school years ago, has now been the source of multiple headlines, as I think there were 4 of their students, 2 of whom have now been made public and are in the court system now, for allegedly gang raping another boy when the school had a international field trip to Costa Rica. We're talking about 8th graders who were 14 at the time. I was 13 in 8th grade, but one of the suspects was 14. 14 involved in a gang rape of a fellow student. Allegedly, 4 boys were involved, were repeatedly bullying this kid while they were assaulting him with his different orifices. They videotaped it and then decided to show others. They had threatened they were going to show others. And then this kid, I couldn't imagine what the victim is going through. And rape and assault happens all the time. This is one of the rare cases where we're talking about middle schoolers. And from what we understand, because it happened in Costa Rica, there's some limitations in terms of how the liability and I mean, these kids can still be charged, and I'll give you a little bit of detail of that. But I because it happened in Costa Rica, there are some limitations. So let me just report. 8 News Now said that Dominic Kim is one of the suspects, has been charged as an adult. He's now age 15 years old. The judge moved his case to the adult system last week, calling the allegation serious, heinous, and egregious. Las Vegas Metro Police said the victim and the 14s who sexually assaulted him were only 8th graders at the Alexander Dawson School at Rainbow Mountain last April. There is no Rainbow Mountain, so I'm not really sure why they call it that. There's no Rainbow Mountain, because people always ask me about that. His attorney is, I guess, Joshua Tomchek. He posted bail. The judge is Daniel Westmeyer, set bail for $30,000, issued a no contact order. Kim can only have a flip phone for electronic monitoring purposes, is not allowed to have any contact with any other minors. I mean, this is some real sick stuff. He is the second child that is accused in this. There's also Vaughn Griffith. Vaughn Griffith was also moved to the adult system. He recorded the video of the assault. He is now 15 years old. Kim had threatened the victim that he would show the video of the assault to other students. Just horrifying. The victim is known as Jack Doe. His parents, Jane Doe and John Doe, has filed a civil lawsuit against the school and staff. This happened on February 13th, alleging major failures to address bullying, victim blaming, and this boys being boys attitude. Now, because the alleged sexual assault occurred in Costa Rica, Clark County prosecutors said they cannot pursue sexual assault charges. A representative for the Police Delegación Policial Quepos in Costa Rica said that law enforcement was unaware of an alleged sexual assault incident involving individuals from Vegas. So FBI has confirmed its Las Vegas Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force has been involved in the case, according to 8 News Now. And for some reason, none of the kids are going to be facing federal charges. So while this progresses, you're hearing more about bullying. You're hearing more about what these boys had done. And, I remember when my boys went to the school, it was a good school. I mean, they learned a lot. The teachers were good. I remember that there was an anti-bullying, a very robust anti-bullying shall we say, landscape, to the school. Not sure what happened. Was it after COVID? Or is it that many of these kids or the victim was bullied to the degree and there was something else they held on him that he was afraid to say anything? And, for the child not to be able to go and enjoy a school trip and then something like this happened on the school. Where the hell were the teachers? Where was the supervision? Oh, everybody needs to be sued. The teachers need to be sued. Everybody. Everybody needs to be sued for this one. This is so negligent. This is ridiculous. And this boy, not only going through that, but then other people watching it and there being videos. He must be just going through hell. And I really pray for him and the family. And the family needs to bring the rain. This was horrible. So, it's interesting because, trips, I'm a little bit more of a helicopter mom. I admit it. I wanted to, but it's because of what I've seen. It's because of what I know. And so I know too much. And so I fear that, they go away and something happens. I don't have access to them. I can't help them. And so they didn't go. I think both years there were international trips. And also, I don't think we had the money because the school is already expensive enough. But we put them in that school because there was guards and I had stalkers because of the show and I wanted them protected. And fortunately, any bullying they incurred was not to this degree. But no, I didn't send them on the international trip. And most international school trips, the kids are safe. But with something like this happening and your kid having nowhere to go, he's in a foreign country, no teachers, nothing, and he gets jumped by other students. This reminds you that if you have a 12-year-old daughter, if you have a grade schooler, individuals who rape and do bad things could be of any age. Don't let your guard down just because they're middle school students. I told you years ago that middle schoolers were having sex. It's not just a high school thing. And I heard reports that there were kids doing things that were beyond third base within that school, within a lot of middle schools. And unfortunately, it's not that they're maturing and that they're adults. It's that these unchecked, evil, mentally incapable individuals who think what they're doing, nobody's guiding them. Or maybe it's, they're going to private school, their security, we're good. I have so many questions. How did these kids even come to think of doing a crime like that? What was going on in their head? Why? Is it something they watched? Is it that they find that something to their liking? Why would they do that? Why aren't the parents aware that their kids are pieces of crap? You don't know that your kid's a jerk? You really don't know? I mean, are you spending time with your kids? Do you see what they're watching? Do you see what they're joking about? Read their text. I don't care. Oh, you got to give them privacy. No, you don't. If your kid is a rapist, no, they don't get privacy. You need to know what the hell they're doing. And then, if you have a child who's being bullied, you have got to get on top of that. I mean, I was bullied. I went to 12 different schools. I was bullied at every single school. Some of it was assault. Some of it was something that should have never happened. Thank God it was nothing like this. But talk to your kids and get them out of that school, especially, I don't know how many thousands of dollars that school was. I mean, it was, tens of thousands of dollars a year. That's wrong. Just wrong. We'll keep you posted. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
Hey guys, it's Clyde. You know, we've had a lot of requests for Ground Zero merchandise, so we put together an online store with a big variety of high-quality items. I'm really excited to let you know about these things. We have a lot to offer you and your loved ones. In addition to our regular apparel, such as t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, and hats, we've expanded our product line with posters, flags, aprons, mugs, and a whole lot more. We also have Ground Zero collectibles, along with a limited edition of items like a Clyde Lewis canvas portrait, a Ground Zero embroidered jacket that will certainly make for great gifts and for interesting conversations with family and friends. And we now offer publications such as Ron Patton's book about mind control, MK Zine, and back copies of the official magazine of Ground Zero while it was in print. Paranoia, the Conspiracy Reader, also coming in 2023, are updated and revised books that I've written. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. So shop today at our official store by going to groundzeromerch.com. Again, that's groundzeromerch.com.
Dr. Dahlia here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
We're back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So we're getting friends together for St. Patrick's Day. And one of my friends said, oh, no, I can't. I'm detoxing. Oh, you're detoxing? Oh, okay. I didn't know you were, that's good for you. I didn't know you were, going through a program. And they go, no. I'm detoxing my liver. I'm cleaning out the parasites. I'm detoxing. You're detoxing what? What are your what's toxic in your body that you are? Oh, I'm just detoxing everything. How? I'm going to drink tea. I'm drinking a tea and I'm doing a cleanse. And how are you getting that cleanse in you? Well, it's oral. And then I follow it through with an enema. Okay. And what do you? Hey, it's okay. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to learn. about this cleanse. You know, I mean, I take a couple showers a day because I love the hot water, and I scrub. I just want, if you're gonna cleanse, I just want to know what's getting scrubbed, really, really good. What organs are you trying to cleanse? Oh, everything. My heart, my brain, my liver, my kidneys. So you're gonna swallow something. You're gonna hope it gets absorbed. You're gonna hope it goes through the brain, heart, and just scrub it clean. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Is this doctor supervised? Is this it's all over the internet. All right, well, what's in it? It's a cleanser. Okay, I don't know if I could trust it, people. I mean, if you really want to cleanse, okay, I mean, it's really hard to wash out and scrub out carotid plaquing or scrub out kidney stones. Or, I mean, that's kind of hard to do. What you can do is swap your energy drinks and soda pop and alcohol for water and electrolytes. You could swap out your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and sugar and multiple ingredient fake food with single ingredient food. That will be cleansing. So avoid alcohol, eat some good fruits and vegetables. That could be very cleansing because there's natural cleansing mechanisms, if that's the right word to use. I like to use the word replace or not allow, shall we say, uptake of toxins or minerals or things that you don't necessarily need. If you really want to detox, are you getting rid of all the plastics that your food is touching? That would be a fantastical way to detox. So I'm seeing online, and I'm not trying to blow anyone's bubble. I know a lot of people after, New Year's resolutions and now with Lent, and they're like, well, I'm going to detox. And good for you. I love Lent. I think it's fantastic. I got Passover coming, and that's not going to be very easy. I'm going to be very, very grumpy. I always am. Get very constipated. But it is, I think, a spiritual cleanse is important. I think the figurative term for that. But if you really think you're, getting these Mr. Clean bubbles in there to make your liver all nice and shiny, it doesn't happen that way. So be very careful buying a product. The cheapest, safest cleanse is drinking a couple cups of water. Your liver needs that. Your kidneys need that. Do they need all the extra crap in it? Well, I mean, if there's electrolytes. But then again, if you could get that from natural food, that's even better than something that has all this stuff infused in them. But if you're really losing electrolytes fast, well, do the Pedialyte, Gatorade. We support that. But what's interesting? Because when people say, well, I got a parasite in me, I need to do a parasite cleanse. Okay, well, that's fascinating. I understand that, many people could go overseas or they could pick up Giardia going camping. Well, what do we do with that? Well, one is we want to identify which parasite you do have. We give you a container. We have you check your stool. They're called ova and parasites. And we see what eggs, parasites are there. It identifies it. And then we give you an anti-parasitic medication. Now, many of us do accidentally consume parasites. And we will dump them, either with vomiting or diarrhea. But unfortunately, like Entamoeba histolytica or other things, you could get them in your system and they'll travel. We need to identify, if you really, really think you got something like Entamoeba histolytica or Naegleria fowleri or the amoebas or worms or, don't be playing around with teas. Get your ass to the doctor. Let us give you a container, check your stool, and put you on an anti-parasite medication. But if you're thinking, oh, you know what? I just need to do something different. I'm okay with that. And if you need to call it a cleansing to make it work for you, I'm fine with that. Like some people, they have to be on a diet. Others, not necessarily. They if you use the word diet, it won't work. It has to be a new meal plan. But there's a lot of people like, no, I have to diet. I'm on a diet. I need that concrete, literal boundary and description. And so there's a lot of people that say, well, I'm cleansing. Are you cleansing because you're doing dry January or dry March? Are you cleansing? And I think that's fine. But if you're buying products or you're taking in random juices or things, that, yeah. Now, many people, why are they doing it? So me as a doctor, my next question is, why do you feel you need to cleanse? What's going on? Well, I'm always bloated. Okay, we're getting somewhere. You're bloated. Parasites can bloat you. But what could also bloat you is food intolerances. You might have developed a food intolerance where you don't tolerate onions anymore or beans or things like that. It could also be your gallbladder is not functioning well. If you're having gallbladder dysfunction, you're going to bloat. Now we're getting somewhere. If your bacteria or your gut microbiome is off, or you have an overgrowth of bacteria, SIBO, that can affect oftentimes your digestion. If you're a female with an ovarian mass, that could cause bloating. Fibroids, pressing on the bowel. So the point I'm trying to make is you got to get yourself checked out. Now, it's interesting. A doctor was interviewed by The Mirror talking about a lot of myths like cortisol face. Many people are talking about cortisol face. And they're talking about Cushing's syndrome, where some people, they have moon faces where their face gets swollen, but it might not necessarily be your cortisol or your adrenal glands that kind of manage your energy and inflammation and blood pressure and, sleep-wake cycles. You might have other issues that could be causing you to appear swollen. Get yourself checked out. All right? I know people want to do things themselves, but get yourself checked out. A lot of people say, well, I need to balance my hormones. Well, there's not a lot of things supplement-wise that if you're really that out of balance, I mean, like for those of us that need estrogen, yes, maybe the Estroven or edamame or soy milk help, but not to that degree. If your hormones are really off, you need hormones. Same thing with thyroid. Making sure you have proper iodine and proper vitamins are important. But if you're deficient in thyroid, you kind of need thyroid. Same thing with insulin. If you need insulin, we don't really have a lot of supplements that give you insulin directly. There's nothing like that out there. So understand that these supplements could be useful, but they're not a perfect substitution. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY.
Looking for an easy read that can actually help secure someone's future? Pick up a copy of Mark Falter's book, Common Sense Income Strategies. For the past 30-plus years, Mark has helped thousands of hardworking Americans secure their financial future by using strategies that continue to create wealth, whether the market is up or down. Strategies that will make perfect sense once you take the time to read this powerful book. Common Sense Income Strategies brings to you what Mark has been teaching in person and talking about on the radio for decades. It's not rocket science, it's a pretty easy read. You've worked too long and too hard not to see the fruits of your labor. Common Sense Income Strategies is available now on Amazon or by calling 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635. Common Sense Income Strategies by Financial Fitness Show host Mark Falter. Secure your financial future today.